converted man here. Yeah, earlier this morning I couldn't yell my name, so to make up for that, I yelled it real loud. Sorry if I exploded your ears. Anyways, this is FISHHEADSALID's fault that I'm doing this. So, yeah. Be sure to thank him in the comments.
Let's go. You want to take time to answer? Yeah. This is from Devin, who says, Pat, an atheist friend of mine recently asked me if I could make a case for the existence of God without using the Bible. Any suggestions on how I could respond to this?
Well, the heavens declare the glory of God, and the earth shows forth his handiwork. Just show that guy a leaf. Show him a...
Oh, jeez. Oh, my word. Here's a leaf. Yeah, and... what about it?
Tree. Show him a seed.
Yeah.
Show that guy a leaf. Show him a tree.
Look at the trees.
Show him a seed. Show him an apple. Show him a little child. Show him anything you want to and say, how do you think these got here?
Oh, my word. Okay, so show him anything you want to. Oh, okay. Can I show him a poo? Would that work? How did that poo get here? Well, somebody ate something and passed it through their digestive system and then pooed it out. That's how that poo got there. Any other question? Oh, no. But I mean, well, how did that poo, get through the digestive system? Well, I'm glad you asked. Here's how that works. I was like, no. But how does that work? Okay, here's how that works. How does that work? And then it's like, oh, no. How does that work? Okay, yeah. Oh, you're stupid. How old is this guy? 700 years old now? Oh, my God. He's like 92 or something. I don't know. He must have made a deal with Satan to stay alive this long. I don't know. Like he's immortal or something. Anyways, yeah, look at a tree. How did this get here? Oh, my God.
They didn't just emerge out of the dust. They came.
They didn't emerge out of the dust. Well, no. But they did emerge from processes that are understandable. But again, this goes back to the conversation I had with that Prometheus guy. Let's say we don't know the answer. Where did X come from? Okay, I don't know. And I say, I don't know. That's an interesting question. I don't have the answer to that question. And then you go, aha! Therefore, God did it. No. Not knowing the answer to something, that's it. That just means you don't know. It doesn't mean that the answer is therefore X. But we do have explanations for these things, and none of those explanations at any point requires any God, let alone your particular version of your particular God.
From something, and somebody made them. And look at your fingers. Look at your...
Somebody made them. That is a ad hoc conclusion that you've drawn from nothing. Look at your fingers. What if you didn't have fingers?
Eye. Look at your...
Look at your eye. That's kind of hard to do. You'd need a mirror for that. Yeah, I have explanations for all those things. So none of that proves God.
Face. The heavens declare the glory and even his eternal power and God.
Now, wait a minute. Why am I looking at my eyeball and face if the heavens declare whatever, which is also from the Bible, which the questioner said not to use? You moron.
Godhead is revealed from that which is seen.
And yet I look at the stuff and I don't see God. So why is that? See, the Bible says this thing, okay, yeah, it says, oh, it's declared from the heavens, and it's like, it's everywhere, okay, here's this tree, yeah, that's a tree, well, what about it? Well, that proves God. Why? How does that prove God? In what way? What do you mean? How do you get from that to God? If if God was obvious, then you could just point to God and be like, hey, there it is. There's God. But no, God is hiding in all these things. You have to look at the tree and the leaf and your fingers and the heavens. And it's like, yeah, I look at all that and I still don't see God, which means the Bible is wrong. And you could say, well, no, of course it declares the glory of God. Well, but it doesn't. Not to me. It might to you, but it doesn't to me. So you didn't convince me of anything other than you're a moron.
You know, you can see the hidden nature of God from what he made.
You can see the hidden nature of God. No, you can't see anything that's hidden. That's what it means to be hidden. That's not how word works. Do you see that camouflage guy over there? No. Good. That means the camouflage is working. Oh my word. How can you see something hidden?
Visible.
This is from Nolan, who says,
then you can't see it. Oh God, stupid idiot.
I'm curious about what happens when someone makes it to heaven. I realize it's paradise, but do you think we'll just relax there for eternity? Or will there be some divine work to be done?
Well, depends what heaven is. Or, I mean, who knows? I mean, the Bible doesn't really say. You'll be worshiping 24/7. That's what will happen in the Bible. So that's the answer. Worship 24/7.
No, that'd be terribly boring. Just sitting around with a harp, you know, in some cloud all day long and all night. That'd be awful.
Yes.
Oh, man. Yeah, that would be awful. Let's see. What happens in heaven? Maybe Google will tell me. Let's see. You embrace God's holiness and justice. That sounds boring to me. Let's see. Yeah, okay. Let's see. Yeah, there's not really a lot on Google about it, so I don't know.
I can't imagine it.
No, I think God's got plenty for us to do. He might give you a planet to run. I don't know. There are plenty of planets out there, hundreds of millions of them.
A planet to run? What? So you're a Mormon now? I mean, are you? I mean, Pat, that's like a Mormon belief. That you become a god of your own universe, or, well, maybe it's a planet. I don't know. It kind of like depends what Mormon, I guess. But yeah, they believe that sort of thing. God will give you a planet to run. Okay. But what happens when that planet is destroyed by a supernova or black hole? Then what do I get to do? Because I have all of eternity. And eventually the universe runs out of oomph. So what do I do then? Like, what? And where do you get this idea from, Pat? Your ass? Is that where you pulled it out from? I think so.
There are plenty of things he wants to have done, but there'll be such exquisite joy you can't conceive it. Eye hasn't seen and ear hasn't heard the things that God has prepared for them that love him. And Peter talked.
Yeah. There'd be joy. Well, how do you know that? Like, why? Like, and what God, like, has for you to do? Well, there isn't anything that you could do that God couldn't do. So, like, is it just a constant orgasm, like, all the time? Like, you just feel an orgasm the whole time? Is that it? Even that would get boring after a while. I don't know. I don't think you've thought this through, Pat. Plus, this isn't supported by the Bible, which makes you a false prophet. But, whatever. I got a thumbs down this video. All right.
Talked about joy, unspeakable and full of glory.
Yeah.
There'll be so much joy. Your whole being will be consumed with joy.
So it's an
orgasm. It's very hard to say, well, what am I going to be doing?
Okay, so orgasm all the time. Got it.
I mean, if all you're doing was staying in the presence of God and radiating the glory of God, that would be something. But it's going to be beyond belief. It'll be so good.
Yeah. Okay. So full body orgasm, 24/7 for the rest of eternity, and that won't get boring, I guess, somehow. How do you know this, Pat? How do you know? Hello. What? What? You don't? How do you know that? Okay.
This is Theo, who says, if the Bible was written for us, why are some books in the Bible addressed to particular people, like the Romans, Galatians, and Ephesians? Are these books for us too?
And the Bible wasn't written for you at all, because the people that wrote it had no idea about you. It's a static thing that's like mostly outdated. Like there's a few ideas maybe you could salvage from the Bible, but modern day life just outpaces what the Bible talks about. It says nothing about cars and trains or planes, clean tap water, microwaves, cell phones, the internet, medicine, germ theory, science, logic. Doesn't talk about any of that. Says the word faith a whole bunch, though. The Bible was written by anonymous people, copied by other anonymous people, and then a whole bunch of people at some point in time got together somewhere, decided on which parts were canon and which parts weren't, using a methodology that we don't even know about. I think they prayed about it, and then the Catholics said, "Yeah, we'll just have all this." And then later on, when Martin Luther got tired of the Catholics being, a bunch of nitwits, he split the church. And at some point later on, I'm not clear when it happened, but certain books of the Bible were decided to not be canon, even though the Catholic Church had decided that those books were canon. And how did they decide that? Who knows? What group of people did that? I don't know. Whatever group did. When did they do it? Where did they do it? How did they do it? Who were they? No idea. And Christians have no idea either. So it's a bunch of people that you don't know and have no idea who or where or when it happened. Decided what parts of the Bible would be valid and what parts of the Bible wouldn't be valid. To think that any of that is written for you is the pinnacle of narcissism. And she cracked up laughing at this. This must be 20 years old, since Pat doesn't look like a resurrected alien. Are these books for us too? The answer is no. None of the books are for you. None of the books are for anybody. He's going to say yes, probably. I don't know. I don't care. I don't know why. What's he going to say? It's going to be stupid. I guess I'm going to play it.
Well, the New Testament is really a collection of letters that was written, Galatians, there was a church in Galatia, the church at Ephesus, and the church at Thessalonica. These were written by the Apostle Paul. And later
What was the Song of Solomon written for?
Later on, the church fathers said, well, what do we consider as apostolic? What looks like it goes back to the apostles that we can put together in the canon of scriptures?
And yeah, so, what church fathers? When? Where? Who? How did they decide what? Yeah,
That's what they did. But the thing is, it transcends the church at Galatia. It transcends the church at Thessalonica.
Really?
It applies to everybody because these are universal truths, and so they reach across to us. And
I don't think
you could appropriate them for yourself.
Well, no, I know that's absolutely not true, because it certainly doesn't apply to everybody around the world. And I can find let's see, what's the name of those guys? I always forget. There you are. All right, piano people, help me out here. Pra people. I can never pronounce this name. Okay, well, I put in a colon. I didn't want a colon. Hold on. Okay, that Puraya. These people have no concept of any God, and they would reject God unless you could demonstrate God. They do not have the stories about the Bible. The guy told them it. This dude right here, he told the Priyana people the stories about God, and they laughed at it. They thought it was funny. And they were like, "Wait, so who told you about this? You know, is it? How do you know about this?" And he's like, "Well, it was written down," and they're like, "Well, we're not interested in that," because they were only interested if you personally saw it, or somebody told you they saw it, or you heard it that somebody saw it. So they're like the ultimate in imperial puricists. So these people, these stories don't work on these people. So therefore they're not universal. Oops. Looks like you're just lying there, Pat, or well, wrong at any rate. All right, back to this nonsense, I guess.
This is Karen who says, Pat, do you think there's a special significance to the fact that Jesus didn't start his earthly teaching ministries until he was in his 30s?
Yeah, numerology. The Jews were huge on numerology. 30 and 33, big deal. Big deal to be 30. He only did his ministry supposedly for like 3 years. So he died at 33. 33. 3 is special. Numerology, that's why. Oh, and just for fun, try to make a coherent timeline of Jesus using the scriptures in the Bible. It's impossible to do. Good luck, though, trying to do it. Anyways, yeah, there's a special significance. 30 is a magical number. All right, let's see what he has to say.
Not in his 30s. He was 30 years old. That was the time.
Not in his 30s. He was 30 years old. That's in his 30s, you moron.
Time that the priests, the Levites, began their service. That was the time that David began to be king. It's a very significant time.
Yes, the guy I just showed, the Piana people thing. Yeah, he was a missionary, became an atheist because when he told the, you know, when he thought these stories would be universal, right? And he thought, and you know, he thought, if I tell them these stories, they'll, you know, maybe I can convert them. And they just thought it was a joke. They just laughed at it. And he gave them, like, I remember a story said that he gave them like a story about John the Baptist being beheaded, and they were just replaying that over and over again and laughing at it because he left tapes for them, and they just thought that was the funniest story. They're like, "Oh, the guy's lost his head. They cut off his head. That's hilarious." You know, so these stories had just no impact on these people. They didn't care at all. So yeah, that deconverted them. Okay, back to Pat Robertson being dumb.
In the life of somebody set apart from God. You know, I was 30 when this thing
I was going to ask you if you thought that translated to modern day.
Well, it did for me.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Wait, what was the answer? Because, wait.
That's awesome. I was going to ask you if you thought that
of somebody set apart from God, king, it began their service. That was the time that David began to be king. It's a very significant time in the life of somebody set apart from God. You know, I was 30 when this thing
I was going to ask you if you thought that translated to modern day.
Well, it did for me.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So his answer is like, because there was stuff going on that Jesus needed to minister at that time, I guess. I don't know. My answer is right, so I like my answer better. Numerology is the answer, more than likely. I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm not.
Great. This is from, I think this is how you pronounce this, Botho. I want my parents to be saved. The problem is they don't want to hear anything about the love of Jesus. They think it's just history. Is there something I can do to help convince them that Jesus is the way to eternal life? Should I stop talking to them about Jesus until they change their minds?
Probably. They're probably sick and tired of hearing about Jesus all the time. Maybe you could give them empirical evidence that any of this is real. You know, maybe they're sick and tired of hearing about it. Hello, Stefan Kane. Hi. Maybe they're just tired about it. You know, they're like, we don't want to hear this anymore. Is there a way to convince them? Sure. Give them empirical evidence. Give them a repeatable test. Give them a valid and sound argument. You're not going to do that. And Pat's certainly not going to tell you how to do that.
Life.
Start talking to Jesus about them and say, Lord, reveal yourself to them.
Okay, so pray to Jesus and say, Lord, reveal yourself to them. Okay. Okay, let's say that he does that. All right. Then what? Does he keep doing that every day? Until what? Until it happens? Just magically? I don't know. I don't think that's gonna work. That's all right. All good, man. All right.
And if you have to, shock them, but show them something, you know, show them. And he knows how to reveal himself to people.
Yes.
Okay, God knows how to reveal itself to people, yet God doesn't do that. All right, God could do it right now, supposedly, hypothetically. If God could do everything or anything logically possible or whatever, it's like, come on into this stream right now, God. Say hi to me. Say hi to all the atheists in here. That'd be kind of cool. Like, all of a sudden I'd be like, and it could even join in. Like, I wouldn't even have to push a button or anything. It would just poof, there it is. And I'd be like, what the hell? Now, my first instinct would probably be like, it's a hacker. I might try to close my browser, but it's God, so it can prevent me from closing the browser. I like try to turn off the computer, but again, it's God, so like I couldn't turn off my computer. I unplug it. Doesn't matter. Stays on. And I'm like, what the bleep? And then like God's just like, hi everybody, I'm God. How's it going? And I'd be like, what the hell? I'm like, yeah, if you're God, what am I thinking right now? He'd be like, you're thinking about lobsters. I was like, that's easy. Anyone could have guessed that. What about now? And then he whispers in my ear. And I'm like, yeah, I was thinking about that. Please don't share that with anyone. And I'm like, all right, you're God, you know. But God doesn't do that. So I guess God's really bad at revealing itself to me right now at this very moment. And everybody else listening to this. Oh, well, whatever. You know, you can keep praying. It's not going to work. Prayer doesn't do anything.
He does.
It may be an automobile wreck and they'll look up and cry out.
Yeah, you don't ever know. God uses anything. Sometimes the simplest things, something you wouldn't even think would be very impactful.
A little child singing. That's what St. Augustine, heard, a little child.
Yeah.
I think saying take up and read, and you know. Anyhow, whatever it is.
Yeah. So like, this goes back to your non-argument of look at the leaf in the tree and all that other stuff. Like, oh, a little child singing. Oh, isn't that nice? That must be God. How the bleep do you know? Like, which God? What? Why doesn't God just say hi to people? How hard is it? Just say hi. Yeah, I don't know as Ben was. Yeah. Everything or anything is evidence. Yeah. I guess in Pat's mind, you know, but that's not convincing to anybody.
Is God can speak to them. So keep your testimony, keep your love, and keep praying. All right.
Okay, so the answer is pray for them, but he didn't tell them to not talk to them or to talk to them. Like, he didn't really answer the question. He's like, should I stop talking about it? And so Pat didn't really answer the question. Pat, you suck at this.
This is Anna, who says, a friend said, we don't live by the law of the Bible anymore, but we live by God's grace. I told him that grace does not mean we can sin as much as we want to. Are we still supposed to follow God's principles even though we do not need to live by the law?
Nope. Yes and no. Depends who you ask and how you ask it. So, some Christians like the 10 Commandments, even though they don't like the rest of the 613 commandments. And Jesus says, let's see, law is still around. Let's see, let's see. Let's see, no part. Let's see. Hold on, gotta find this in Google. Let's see. Okay. All right. So Matthew. All right, and then else is. All right. So it's all about like how you interpret it, like because you could interpret it a number of ways. That's one of the problems. So here's this verse, whatever. Matthew 5, 17, 18, whatever. Don't think I've come to abolish the law or the prophets. I have not come to abolish them, but to fulfill them. For truly I say to you, till heaven and earth pass away, not an iota, not a dot will pass from the law until all is accomplished. Okay, so this means that the law is still in place. Or it could mean that the law, whenever it is accomplished, then the law will no longer be valid. And that could mean that when Jesus dies and comes back, that means the law is accomplished. Therefore, then that will mean that the law is abolished and no good no more. Even though he said that that's not what he came to do, he's come to fulfill the laws, but the laws are not something you can fulfill because you're supposed to follow the laws. So I don't know that Jesus knows what the fuck he's talking about. Anyway, so you can look at that verse and you can walk away with two different understandings. You can say, oh, well, Jesus clearly said the law is going to be there forever. You can also say, oh, no, Jesus said the law is gone as soon as it's accomplished. And it was accomplished when he came back from the dead. So you could have your cake and eat it too, and also explode the cake because whatever. And what's Pat gonna say about this? Something stupid, I'm sure.
Well, absolutely. There's an eternal principle out there: thou shalt not kill. Well, you can say, I'm not under the law, I can kill who I want to. Well, that's nonsense. These are eternal principles that are set.
No. Because Jesus also said, all the laws don't matter. The only law is to love your neighbor as yourself. So you could say that replaced all the other laws. But also it doesn't say it's just not to kill. It says not to murder, because like you might kill accidentally. And so Jesus said he was going to fulfill those. So yeah, but what's wrong about killing somebody? Couldn't you just get forgiveness for it? I don't know. Seems like you could. Now, of course, I think it is wrong to kill someone, and you shouldn't kill people. And killing is bad, in general, like broadly speaking. Like, I guess we kill animals for food and stuff, and well, if they weren't so yummy, we wouldn't do that. But like humans is what I mean. Like we shouldn't kill those. Like try to avoid doing that.
In the fabric of the entire universe.
How do you know that?
The whole thing about lying and stealing and cheating. I mean, it's all part of the fabric of the universe.
How do you know that?
We're not under the law. We're under grace, but it's not the same thing as I can.
Yeah, but the question is, why can't you just do whatever you want and then get forgiven by grace? You could. What's to stop you from doing it? If you're forgiven by grace, if you're under grace, then anything goes. So why not?
live what I want to. There's something called antinomianism. It says I don't have any law at all. That's nonsense. We live by the law of the Spirit.
What does that mean?
Yeah, I think that's all the time we have for today.
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you.
Thank goodness. That's done. Well, Pat Robertson was wrong. Now, I said he had 700 logical fallacies, but that's just the title of the video. It's kind of a clickbait thing. But to be fair, if I wanted to, I could add up his fallacies. Let's see. Well, he's got ad hoc. That's one. He's got bald assertions. He's got failure to give an argument. That's a formal fallacy. That's 3. 700 is a pretty big number. It might take me a while. You know what? Tell you what. I totally will find all the fallacies, the 700 fallacies of Pat Robertson. If you do stuff for me, that's it. What sort of stuff? I don't know. Something. I'll figure it out later. Just post in the comments what stuff you're willing to do for me, and then I'll decide if that's a good enough reason for me to dig out 700 fallacies that I could then say Pat Robertson did. I'm sure he's committed 700 fallacies by now. Maybe not in this one clip, but overall he has. You know what? Maybe I'll just change the name of the video. Nah, I'm not going to do that. It's a good clickbait. Screw it. I don't care anymore. Whee! All right. Anyways, that's all for now. I blame Fish Head Salad for this video. And if you have a video you want to be blamed for, send it my way. Sometimes YouTube allows you to post videos. Sometimes it doesn't. So just email me the video. If you don't know how to email me, well, my email is on my About page. So you go there and then click the thing, and it's here, for business inquiries, you click on that, and it's are you a bot? And you click on that, and then then it tells you my email. But it's deconvertedman1@gmail.com. So there you go. Do that, and that's a thing you can do, and post your comments under this video, or post your comments somewhere. Watch some of my stuff. I've got lots of stuff to watch. Many things and content that I've made over time. And you could watch all that, I guess. Goodbye!